I came really fresh to the entrepreneurship modus. I was trying to get some projects, and then I connect with a guy to do a leather development in this case. And then I was doing a lot of 3D modeling, laser cutting, 3D printing, to prepare a nice prototype for him because he was doing something new. And then he told me, okay, Frank, I need that, that, and that. I start to do the stuff. I think from the beginning till the end, 2 3 months working, not 24 hours, 7 days, but a lot of time on the computer doing the modifications, anything, because we were speaking every day. At the end, he was really happy with the model, with the prototype. And the next step was, okay, how many pieces do you want to get of this prototype? Now I was thinking to get 100. Okay, fine. My capacity, the material I have, and anything. He told me, okay, we go ahead. Suddenly, 2 4 days before sending the bulky material, he called me, hey, Frank, I'm so sorry, but I need to cancel anything with it because now I have my own development. His own development was my design. He went to the patent office where the guy was, and he told me, here is my model. It was 1-1, my model. Here's lesson. Protect your industrial property, the first one, and the second one, go with the NDA. Because at the end of the day, it's your work alone. What you said before, it's illusion, it's knowledge, it's equipment, it's money, it's thinking, it's taking time from your family to do a development that you think you can go till the end with this type of client. First one, go before you open the month, go to the patent registration, put your name in the stuff you want to do, or if you want to do it public in a public way. And the second one with the NDA, because it was a failure from my side because I was so excited to get a real project in the real one with my idea company. Okay, now I'm gonna get money because I need that, that, and that. But it was a big lie. It was a big lie. You spend money, illusion, time, equipment, anything you invest when you're doing a new development for someone who is from the beginning really interested in your work, but at the end of the day, the people is trying to get ideas for free, and we are too naive to say, okay, no, I need to protect my stuff because in the future that can provide money to you, a real money if you do a nice development. And I knew that from the automotive industry. Before you go to the client, you go to the NDA, or before going to the client, you say, we are applying for a patent for this kind of product because we are doing a tailor-made path for you, a development, and we need to keep safe the business. One time is the person, it's nice, we can be friends, but we need to protect anything we do. And sometimes that's a little bit complex because the people don't understand why you do that. They say you are so aggressive. Why are you doing that? Okay, I got this experience in the past. And for this reason, now I need to keep the stuff so clean as we can to go ahead with the development. The third one is ask for a payment in advance. It can be a percentage. You can define how much, because the expenses you need to cover for this development, sometimes they are higher as we think. And now I do the stuff really open, but keeping safe what we can do. Okay, maybe some standard model, maybe if the person has or the company has model we can go through. But now I don't do any tailor-made design for anyone before doing this homework. Sometimes it's a little bit aggressive, but it's needed because it's your intellectual property, it's your business, it's your equipment, it's anything you are investing in the company. And when you are a solo orchestra man doing the job, you need to connect every dot to be safe. not to be 100% safe, but to be a little bit safer than in the past. Now we are trying to reach big automakers. That is another stuff because the legal stuff, naming brands, logotypes, anything. And when you go further, the risk is higher and you need to be protect yourself, because if a big company says it is my idea, you don't have the power to go to pay a lawyer to defend you. You don't have any weapons to go ahead. And sometimes you need to decide, okay, is that the way I want to go or not? And it's always choosing stuff. How much I'm able to lose if I go this way? Or can I be safe here at this part of the business? But anything is a risk. If you stay at home, you don't get clients. If you go outside, you get clients, but you get a big risk to lose your idea, your project, anyone. Anything you can propose is a risk, but it's a funny risk if you take the proper defense to you. That's more or less my learnings till now.
I got a question for Frank. It might be a bit wider for everyone else, and it's about how do you say no, particularly in the early stages? You've got when people are starting to have that interest. They might be the German game developer or someone like that, or a client, a prospective client that's saying, "I'm interested. I want to go ahead." And at some point, you're going to have to say no, or you should say no. What's your learnings about how to say no and when to say no?
This is an amazing question because not everyone is your customer. And you need to learn to detect the people before you go ahead. Now, that is a big risk now because every day you are spending in the entrepreneurial life, you are getting inputs from the people. And sometimes the people ask the wrong question. And over there, you know that this person is not the customer of this company. You never know until you do that. That you need to go through to get the lesson and to refine your skills to detect this possible non-client profile. From the beginning, I thought, okay, we go to all the people. No, it's not possible to reach all the people because you have a particular product for particular person, even companies, and you need to do sometimes a tailor-made project for them. I did a tailor-made project for this guy, and the guy stole my idea. Okay, I lost money, effort, anything, but I got a big lesson. It was an interchange. Now, okay, I put my skills to do a development, but the payment was something like that. And you learn to refine your skills to say no in an indirect way. I'm so sorry, I'm not prepared to do that because the people tell me sometimes, we are not the kind of company to work with you. And that is fine. This is an open no. And that is fine. As an entrepreneur, you need to get every no as a normal you can. Because no one is your client, your customer.
If you just put a price tag on the next step, we'll do this consulting before we get to something. Someone who's serious will think about that and say yes or no. You don't need to say, a lot of times you don't need to say no. You just need to put something down as an offer to move forward from here. We need these 5 days of consulting to be paid for. And if they say no, you don't have to say no, right? Because they've said no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I also think it's listening to your own gut feeling. I mean, I will never forget that we were approached by a global airline, a Dutch global airline, KLM, to work for them. And then one of the executive board members said, well, you have to talk to procurement. We are a small network of 30 friends who are independent entrepreneurs, so we don't have an office. And I said, well, although I had no experience with procurement departments, so he said, well, you have to talk to them because that's procedure within KLM. I said, okay, I will talk to them. And I talked to the head of procurement and he said, okay, first of all, I checked your company and you're not, let's say, good enough. I mean, your financial balance is not good enough. I said, okay, So we're out now, but you have to get your balance in order. Well, I have no clue what he meant. But then I said, okay, I can manage that. But then he said, okay, here is our book of requirements you have to align with and have to sign. 250 pages with all kind of penalties. And I looked at him and I said, I used those words and I was too blunt, maybe because I'm Dutch. I said, are you fucking crazy that you let me sign a 250-page document with penalties of hundreds of thousands of euros if I do something wrong? I said, well, this is the end of the conversation. I'm not going to work for you. And he was shocked. He said, but we are the Royal KLM. I said, well, I'm the Royal Roel Vandenberg and I'm not going to work for you. And I was so pissed off. Let's say the end of the story, Paul, is that was 16 years ago and we're still working for Air France KLM without signing, let's say, the procurement document. So it's also, and if I was not bluffing, but I was so shocked that somebody didn't understand my position. And my gut said, well, I'm not going to do this because it's kind of suicide. So it's also trusting then a little bit your gut feeling. And then the executive board member said, okay, forget the procurement. We will work. We don't even have a contract until today. So it's gut feeling is also a lot of things you have to listen to as an entrepreneur. And you will bump your head into the wall sometimes. Of course you do. That's what I liked in Franco's story. Sorry.
I love that comment. That's such a great story.
But may I ask a question then? How did it turn around then?
Sorry. Who was?
Oh, this Ivar. Sorry, I'm in a train.
Oh, sorry, Ivar.
My question is,
no worries.
how did KLM get back to you then?
Well, the interesting thing was that the man who approached us, he was the commercial executive board member in those days for KLM. And I wrote him an email that I said, well, I talked to procurement on your advice and they are demanding so much that it's not possible for us to work for you. And then the next thing that happened half an hour later, he called me and he said, what happened? I said, well, you can't ask us to insure us for so much money and we're not delivering you kerosene or a plane. I mean, you're hiring us for, let's say, vision and strategy development. So he said, fucking procurement. Okay, let's start working. What's your hourly rate? What's your daily rate? And how do you deal with travel expense? Could you please send me a mail? I said, of course, Eric, I can send you a mail. And we sent him a mail. And an hour later, we were, let's say, working for them. And we're still working for them.
Nice.
So many years later.
There's another stuff. Some companies, they work harder to work with because I can understand the stuff because sometimes it's a relationship stuff. Okay, I have that, you need that. Maybe we have here a match, but contracts, procurement, insurance, there is a lot of stuff. And at the end of the day, we waste our time doing this mini task and the real work is never done. This is the other.
That's true.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but Frank, the good part is, and of course, we are working together with 32 friends in our network, and nobody is signing contracts anymore with clients. And we work for IKEA, or that's where I know Jens from, the IKEA family. Of course, we will sign NDAs, but not with penalties in them, because, that's trust.
Yeah.
But none of us is signing any contracts anymore. And the beautiful thing is, in the end, you will get the credibility that you're worthwhile working with. So stick to those own values, and then you will get the credibility in the end.